Aloha and welcome to Naleo Hawaii Public Television. My name's Claire Bajo and I'm a spiritual realtor on the Big Island of Hawaii, and I'd like to I'll open this conversation up to my friends here, and we can go, each person introduce ourselves so we know.
All right. Well, my name is Zach, and I'm an author here on the Big Island, also a supernatural paranormal explorer. But I realized that there's a lot more going on here as far as healing and everything, so my interests are just with healing with nature and exploring just everything here on the island.
Awesome. My name is Sandra Cordero, and I'm excited to be here with this wonderful group of people to discuss healing, self-healing, and just a different philosophy, a whole holistic way of seeing the world.
Awesome.
My name is Karen Gomes. I'd like to consider myself as a life author, trying to be as relatable to everyone as much as I possibly can, and I'm here primarily to share personal development with everyone, and tonight's topic is about health, which I have several experiences in which I can apply as a life author with healing. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Yes, so we'll just start the conversation off with your experiences with natural healing, or...
All right. Well, my experience, I've lived in Hawaii for 4 years now, and I feel like this is such a unique place in the world that I never thought I would do anything of what I'm doing now when I came here. I was completely in another field, and it's like nature overtook me. There's just so much beauty in nature here that I felt I had to be a part of it, and so that's when I started growing medicinal plants, some that are beneficial for your brain, some that are beneficial for your body, all sorts of different things. And that path has kind of led to where we are now. It's kind of shown me that we're all connected, and that healing is a focal point of everyone's experience in Hawaii, whether you come here to heal from a relationship or physically or mentally. This is a wonderful place to really whole body healing and experiential times here in Hawaii, and I just we're making it up as we go, right? And I'm just proud to kind of be here and be a part of this, and to be a part of the healing, to be helped. It's kind of like a two-way, kind of a thing.
Well, yeah. I do know that with the law of attraction, and we're all using it, we do have information from The Secret that we may have all used. Mm-hmm. And that spiritual law of attraction has a lot to do with healing and creating your, life's purpose, finding your life's purpose, and then creating it. And I know that Hawaii and the Big Island has a particular type of energy that brings out your life's purpose a little easier, whether it's through healing yourself or creating your dreams come true, or accomplishing, writing a book, creating a business. So I know that we've each experienced it. So
and what's interesting is that a lot of the people that come here, that's what they are for. They're all about the nature, just bonding with the things around you and the spirituality, and I mean, it's amazing how this island just draws those type of people. And a lot of people, like doctors, they come here and they want to heal because they know that this whole environment it's just more soothing for their patients. So they send them over here, and just being here, people are more conscious of what they eat. People are more family oriented, and those are all things that I believe, especially now with all the technology and all this stuff out in the world, that people are like yearning for that, Mm-hmm. And when I came here, I just wanted to be in a beautiful place. I didn't know that the spirit that lives here is very holistic. Mm-hmm. It just is from everything that you do. it has that spirituality in it, and it's big.
Well, let me ask you, because I hear a lot of people that are from in the mainland or even around the world that this island calls them, and they can't explain why. And I know both of you, and even Claire from another island as well too. But why do you think the Big Island is like a calming ground for spiritual healing?
Well, I believe that the Big Island is like the first chakra, if you will, the root chakra, where you kind of have to start out for some. It's a good place to start. And then, you gradually move up the islands and everything. But I found that here it's a really solid connection to Earth, which is my sign, one of my signs. And it's just more country, kind of laid back than some of the other islands where they're a little bit more busy. But I think that this is, each island has its own energy, and this was the energy that we all needed, or I needed, to start with. I'd like to go to Maui and all the other ones, expensive and stuff, but this is a good place to start, to begin, to have a beginning. And just like Hawaii began here with the lava, the volcano, this is where we begin. This is where we begin our healing, this is where we begin our spirituality, and I can tell you that on the mainland, none of this was part of my everyday, but here it is. And and so this is the beginning, and it's just like I said, the volcano, it started here.
Yeah, I was going to say the volcano, it just generates a lot of energy.
Right.
And also, not to mention that we are actually also on top of what used to be Lemuria, which that was their purpose. They loved, their healing and the crystals, and I know Claire knows a lot more about this, but it's a very spiritual place, and
Well, that's where I started my spiritual journey, was in studying Lemuria. Actually, I was studying UFOs and came across the information on Lemuria. And it seemed like as a realtor, when I would ask clients what brings them here, what calls them to buy property on an island with a live volcano, they end up not knowing why they are buying here, except that when they leave, they cry. When they're gone, they dream of returning. Some have, vivid dreams as children of drawing pictures of dolphins or whales, never having seen one as a child yet. And so that calling has always been in them. And when they come here and land on the, on the tarmac here at the Kona airport, they start to cry and they have a feeling of home. And as soon as they get here, they already feel like they are, there's overwhelming experiences of emotion. Some people might not experience a feeling until they get in the ocean or swim with the dolphins or see the whales. Then they start to get this feeling of just needing to be here. And they'll return time and time again. Some people will, like Sandra and her husband, had never been here before, but they dreamed of returning, and she would visualize herself, on the beach while she was washing dishes in New York City. And many of people do that as well. They to escape the cold. A lot of people will visualize themselves in a warm place, sandy beach, basking on the sand in the sun. And these feelings and emotions are part of the spiritual law of attraction, which helps manifest these things to come to pass. But also, I believe that they are dreams coming true. And when you follow your heart and you trust your intuition and you go with that path that has been, the thoughts that have been laid in front of you, then the way makes itself easier. And so what I'm finding in real estate is that when they are ready to come here and their hearts are pure and they are just following their intuition, that the perfect properties on the market at the perfect time, money comes in from where they never could have predicted, and they have the opportunity laid out for them. And for me, the synchronicities of time line up. So in a transaction, I will have, I'll see 222 or 333 or, 5 threes in a row, or, miracles will happen in a transaction. So I watch for that in terms of, where people are in their life experience to, manifest.
I'm curious, Caren, since you are the native Hawaiian, did you know about that? Did you know about I'm pretty sure Mu. You knew it as Mu? No, at all.
No, I've just recently learned
Yeah?
this information, meeting, being here with you guys. Now, help me to understand a little bit more about Lemuria and Mu as a past or.
It would, an island that was, or a landmass that was above before, a long time ago, before the Earth, I guess. I don't know. You
Well,
know
come
more
to
about
find out, the reason why these people are being called here is because they may have been reincarnated from Lemuria. So Lemuria was a civilization that existed before Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
It was maybe about 13,000 years ago, and there were pyramids, there were geographical synchronicities of places on the globe like the pyramid, Bermuda Triangle, Dragon's Triangle. Well, the big island out of all the Hawaiian islands is on a ley line, power, we call it geomancy, and it's 19.47 degrees on each planet has a power ley line. So what seems to be happening is people are being called here to fulfill their life's purpose from an age-old prophecy from Lemuria. So Lemuria is actually going to pass now. Part of the prophecy of the golden age of Lemuria was that it would come, the cycles of ages come back around. And so the golden age of Lemuria existed about 13,000 years ago. And because of the age of Aquarius, we're now entering the golden age again.
Interesting.
Now, geologically, supposedly the Hawaiian Islands are rising in our island tectonic plates. So when people are coming, but also there's geographic changes that are taking place, and to the positive for Hawaii. As you can see with the earthquakes and things, magnetic energy that happens in the Mariana Islands, the Aleutian Islands. Whenever there's any kind of earthquake, really nothing really happens in the area of Hawaii. Japan had given us a little bit of energy through the tsunami for a short period of time, but again, that spiritual law of attraction protected certain places, and then for those who didn't utilize that energy, it affected people differently. So there is some kind of protection here, but in terms of us, here, each one of us, supposedly the time of Lemuria is our ascended master's ship. The ascended mastership of each one of us is coming forward, and we're starting to fulfill our passion, do what our hearts tell us to do. So you're being called forth to be an author of personal development. You're being called forth to bring up your natural healing, and then you with your paranormal, metaphysical experiences, and then also your healing tinctures. So is that
that's fair to say, right? Gosh, where to begin with all that? The thing that stands out to me is I live on Mauna Loa, and so the LOA there, the law of attraction thing, and so I don't know, keeping that mindset of being open to accepting the universe and kind of working with and coexisting, rather than I'm alive, I got to go to work, I got to go to this, I do this, that. Let these miracles happen, and it seems that they happen a lot easier here on the Big Island. Or that we're just so laid back, we notice it more, because I'm sure these miracles happen everywhere. It's just everyone's busy, and there's the Hawaiian time thing, I'm on Hawaiian time. Well, maybe everyone needs to be on Hawaiian time, because maybe they could slow down and kind of, smell the roses, as they say. And, we've been doing that. I've been doing that for 4 years now here, and it's every day is a blessing, a miracle. It's, I do feel like I was called back, like there's a higher purpose for this. If it wasn't for the tsunami, I don't think we would have moved here, because we had to actually evacuate our hotel. We got our deposit back, and a friend of mine had a rental opening at that time. So, strange coincidences and everything, and synchronicities.
Yes, I was going to say, no coincidence here.
Yeah.
Once you start to realize that everything that happens around you, it's for a reason.
Right.
It's how you thought, what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You start to realize that nothing's a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So everything happens what needs to happen at that moment.
Yeah.
I would call it a synchronicity of time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And even in our meetings, we seem to have that synchronicity where, the information that needs to be shared,
Comes
comes
out.
out. So yeah,
And
thank
also,
you.
I
Wow.
think our soul is seeking expression and being attracted to like energies as well too.
Right.
Like
Like attracts.
yeah, absolutely, and that's part of the law of attraction too, which like attracts like, and it's a very powerful concept. I'm sorry, it's not even a concept. It's a law.
It's a law.
It's a
Yeah.
law,
Yeah.
So it's truly powerful.
Well, I've utilized the law of the Aloha Spirit, and there is a Hawaii Revised Statute of the Aloha Spirit Law, and it talks about being kind and tender and giving without expecting anything in return. And so when you utilize this law in your daily life, and for me, I like to teach my clients that because they are not aware, coming from the mainland or outside of Hawaii, they don't understand that sometimes the laws here are actually opposite. Where you might run first in line in the mainland, everybody speeds to be first. Over here,
Right.
first is last.
Yeah.
And if you let people go first, you will be first when you arrive. And so the same thing goes with politics. If you go to a state or county department, and if instead you offered them a gift or some kind of blessing, thank you for being there. I like to take macadamia nut chocolates because everybody loves to receive candy and chocolate, and it just makes the reception a little bit softer, kind of like when you're going to someone's house and you always try to bring something as a gift to the house. The Japanese culture might call it omiyage, which is a gift, before you are blessed, you give a blessing. And very similar to how a temple experience might work, especially here with the heiau and the sacred spaces here. You typically don't get to enter the sacred place or the heiau unless you have a ho'okupu. It's just a little bit easier for you to be received well. So that's part of the laws and the natural, I would call it maybe etiquette, or it's like a Hawaii business culture.
Right.
And it's really fun once everyone starts to use it.
Yeah.
Many people come from the mainland and they already have these intuitive ability, they already have this loving, giving, sharing, caring energy about them. So those are the people. Yes.
Well, I was going to say that maybe that's why I came here too, is to learn more of those, because admittedly I wasn't I didn't know what the Aloha Spirit was on the mainland. I was in Washington and didn't really know all about it, and so I needed that, and I think that's what the path said. The way it was like, well, he needs it. He needs to be nicer. He needs to have more aloha. He needs to do this. And so, the natural balance of things, I was probably out of balance a little bit, and now it's more balanced out, and I'm applying that to all aspects of my life, and it's great to be applying it with you guys, because to see it done and to feel it and to, co-create with you guys, it's an amazing experience.
It is. It's a beautiful thing because, not being born and raised here, in New York, I was that person. I was the smiley person, I can help you and this and, total strangers, conversations all the time. And when I got here, it's like everyone's like that. And it's like, it felt more like home.
Yeah,
it felt like I didn't have to, like I can just be myself. It was it was amazing, and this is something I didn't know about Hawaii. Doing the research, it wasn't something that they say. They say aloha spirit, but they don't really explain what it is. And when you come here and you interact with another person here, and they've been here and they know, it's like across the board attitude on how to live. You really have a beautiful experience, and you really feel like this is the place I want to be.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The other day I came across some research on Mu Lemuria, and I was pretty astonished to find that the word community and communication, the commu, those are all rooted in Mu Lemuria. So the community, so maybe that's we're getting a bigger sense of community by being here, and so the word Mu is a root word of that, and I was reading that on some page the other day.
Yeah.
Where can we find more information on Lemuria?
I have a Lemuria page. It's called and this is on Facebook, Lemuria, the Continent of Mu. And I place all of my research there, and so that people can understand it. It touches every part of the world because so many people, especially those who come from other countries, they seem to know a little bit more about Lemuria than I think people in the United States. We weren't exposed to Atlantis or Lemuria in our educational teaching, but yes, many people are spiritually called to the information as well. But Lemuria, the continent of Mu. And then I'll also be speaking on a cruise that Zach actually has facilitated around the Hawaiian Islands, where we will be talking about the mountaintops of Mu, which are the Hawaii Islands, and also speaking about the law of attraction, physical, places, pyramids on the islands. Zach also has a book on power vortexes on the islands, where you can go and receive energy, receive messages, that you might need. So it's available. It just hasn't been very public, but if you Google the word Lemuria, you'll also see that it's a very, it's very popular in terms of the communication.
Yeah, and thank you, Caren, for bringing that up, because a lot of people might not even know what that is, or the ley lines, or any of that, So there's always information out there. You can always check Claire's page, Lemuria, on Facebook.
Yes.
But there's just information everywhere for that, so you can totally go on the internet and look things up, and you get some more info.
Well, our community, talking about community, there's a subdivision that's coming up just right in Kailua, Kona, up above the Civic Center, and one of the community center is called Mu Center.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So I have that information on a blog that I will post on the on my Lemuria page, so that people know politically, we are tapping into, and I believe the Hawaiian politics definitely have a place in our ancient history, because as you see with our I know with Mayor Kim, and I know with Mayor Kinoi, they will typically ask for something, what are you willing to give before you develop a property, or the exchange of energy, how can I help you and you help me at the same time. So it's really a beautiful marriage of people and environment, and of course we have to honor Pele too. So yes. So were you called here to the Big Island as well, Caren?
I was born and raised, so I was certainly called. I was meant to be planted here.
So you were graduated from Kona High School?
No, I'm from Hilo. I graduated from Hilo High School, and I've lived in the Kona side for 20 years now. I went on to 20 years, but I'm not sure why Kona was a calling to me, but I am so grateful. I'm so appreciative. I have met so many interesting people along the way. I have developed so much, along the way, and it's it becomes a part of who you are, you know. And when I'm so proud to say that I can combine the two places, you know.
Absolutely.
And you know, and it's all the same culture, you know. But you know, I am. You know, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to be a part of this island and welcoming others, you know, like yourselves, to the island as well too. So
I've met the most beautiful people on this island, including the newcomers. So, you know, when it comes to Lemuria, and you're being called home, I definitely feel that, you know, there are people here who are called together as family. And, you know, community is part of, you know, families coming together to create a common, you know, place where we all want to learn and grow together and bring out the best in each other. So
Absolutely. Community is like the staple here. You know, where else can you go and like, you know, strange kids will call you auntie and uncle. And it's like, you want to cry because it's so beautiful. It makes you feel so good because, you know, we are all related. We're all connected brothers and sisters everywhere, you know. And it's innate for them, I guess, you know, being in a little island off in the middle of the world kind of isolated them from, you know, all the other stuff that you have on the mainland that kind of, they're so separated, you know. And here it's like you still want to have everyone be family. Ohana,
and that's what we're trying to spread. We're trying to be contagious with the aloha spirit throughout the world, because there is no greater genuine feeling than the aloha spirit when we can look at each other in the eyes and be pono with one another.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's an awesome
and
feeling.
know that person genuinely feels that, you know, and that's it's an amazing feeling. It's awesome to be able to, you know, kind of share that message and know that it, you know, it works, you know. Here everything gets done the right way, you know. Nobody's stressing. It's Hawaiian time, you know. You're not rushing. You're not, you know, like stressing everything because everyone understands it's okay. It's all right. It's
just go with the flow.
Yeah, it's island time, you know, and it's a good feeling because then you know, it takes away a lot of the stress that everyday life, you know, can give. So it's, you know, you're more enjoyable.
Great. Yes, thank you all so much for sharing. So we'll be back with more on holistic Hawaii living on the Leo Public Television, and thank you for joining us.